On May 24, 2009, Trooper Daniel Martin of the Oklahoma Highway Patrol was responding to a call in Okfuskee County with his lights and sirens activated when he approached an ambulance driven by EMT Paul Franks, while his partner, Maurice White Jr., who was in charge of the ambulance, was in the back with an elderly patient who had lost consciousness and was suffering from chest pains. The ambulance did not have its lights or sirens activated, as was the EMT's standard practice when dealing with cardiac patients due to the additional stress that lights and sirens can cause. Mr. Franks did not immediately yield to Trooper Martin, and Trooper Martin passed the ambulance to continue towards his destination at a higher rate of speed. After arriving at the scene of the call and finding that his assistance was not needed, Trooper Martin quickly left, chased down the ambulance, and pulled it over. The encounter that followed was captured by Trooper Martin's dash cam.
What's going on? No, I'm talking to the driver.
No, I'm talking to you. I'm the medic.
You better get back in that ambulance. I'm talking to the driver.
I'm in charge of this unit, sir.
Okay.
My name is Maurice White. I'm a critical care paramedic.
I'm going to give you a ticket for failure to yield. And when I go by you saying what's going on, you don't need to give me no hand gestures now. I ain't going to put up shit. You understand me?
And I won't put up with you talking to my driver like that.
I ain't listening to you, buddy. You get your ass back in that ambulance or I'll take you in. I'm talking to the driver.
And if you would.
Come over here, Paul.
No, we got a patient in this unit right now.
Okay, you want to go ahead and pull over to the side of the road when there's an emergency vehicle behind you?
No, I won't. You ran up on us quickly.
I did not run you quickly, buddy.
Yes, you did.
You better get back in that ambulance before you get your butt to jail now. You understand me?
We're going to get my patient to the hospital.
Trooper Martin informs Mr. Franks that he's going to give him a ticket for failure to yield. Section 11-405 of Title 47 of the Oklahoma statutes requires that, quote, upon the immediate approach of an authorized emergency vehicle making use of audible and visual signals, or of a police vehicle properly and lawfully making use of an audible signal or red flashing lights, the driver of every other vehicle shall yield the right of way and shall immediately drive to a position parallel to and as close as possible to the right-hand edge or curb of the roadway clear of any intersection, and shall stop and remain in such position until the authorized emergency vehicle has passed. However, Section 1-103 of Title 47 of the Oklahoma statutes includes in the definition of authorized emergency vehicles both ambulances and state vehicles of law enforcement agencies. According to Section 11-106 of the same title, the driver of an authorized emergency vehicle, when responding to an emergency call, may disregard specific traffic regulations, such as parking laws, red lights, and speed limits. But the statute does not explicitly state that authorized emergency vehicles are not required to yield to other authorized emergency vehicles that have lights and sirens activated. Additionally, the statute clarifies that the exemptions granted to authorized emergency vehicles only apply, quote, when the driver is properly and lawfully making use of an audible signal or of flashing red or blue lights, or a combination of flashing red and blue lights. Therefore, because the ambulance did not have its lights and sirens activated, a court could conclude that it was legally required to yield to the police vehicle.
You get over here. If you got anybody available, I need some help over here to break. No, you can't go right now. Get in there and take care of your patient. You're not running code. Here, Paul. Sir, I'm going to ask you to step back, okay?
Hey,
thank you.
My wife, she needs to be at the hospital.
I understand that.
She wouldn't be in this.
If he wouldn't have come out here and started, we could have been on the road about 5 minutes ago, partner. Now step back.
I'm sorry to keep coming to the Phoenix and telling me.
Look, Paul, all I'm trying to do is over here and talk to you about it. All right? I didn't need your manager or whoever it is in the back and the paramedic, whoever happens to be in charge, to get out and start obstructing, okay?
I understand.
You understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
He's going to jail. Yeah. You don't jump out and talk. You understand me? I don't care who you are. You're not running code. You're not running emergency, okay?
Right.
All right? I didn't just get up behind you and tailgate you and turn on my red lights and siren. I've been going hot over here to help the county out. You understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
Anything that I want.
Man, we're going to get you on to the hospital here just quickly, okay? Hey, you're going to jail, you understand me? Okay. You are under arrest. Okay. You are under arrest. I get in there. Press charges on him for assault and assault. I didn't assault you. I told you to turn around. Turn around. Turn around.
The dash cam footage is difficult to interpret, but the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals explained what occurred in detail in its decision in the 2011 case of White versus Martin regarding a lawsuit stemming from this encounter. According to the opinion, Trooper Martin repeatedly attempted to speak with Mr. Franks and ordered Mr. White to get back in the ambulance or he was going to jail. Mr. White told Trooper Martin that the ambulance was going to the hospital and that if the trooper wanted to arrest him, he could do so at the hospital. Mr. White then started to walk back to the ambulance. Trooper Martin again told Mr. Franks to come with him, and Mr. White again intervened, saying no and stepping between Trooper Martin and Mr. Franks. Trooper Martin responded by grabbing Mr. White's arm, shoving him against the ambulance, and trying to turn him around and arrest him. Mr. White then backed up against the ambulance and refused to let himself be turned around. This struggle continued, with Trooper Martin telling Mr. White to turn around and that he was obstructing him, and Mr. White refusing to turn around and telling Trooper Martin that he was assaulting him. Trooper Martin eventually abandoned the effort to arrest Mr. White on his own and returned to his car to call for backup. At this point in the altercation, one of the patient's family members began to record on his cell phone, and he was able to capture a better view of what occurred next.
This is me. This highway patrolman pulled my mom's ambulance over because he's mad we didn't pull over, and he trying to arrest the police, the AEMT from taking my mother to the hospital. Let's get this all on camera right now. Let me get the car number here. Tag number. On the road, got 5 minutes ago, partner. That's all it is. That's time there. That's all it's doing. I'll tell you what they say. They said everybody's got it this time. Yeah, all right. Sure. Yeah. Don't y'all get involved. Okay. We're not. Nah, I just got you some evidence. That's all. I got you some evidence. That's all.
I've been going hot over here to help the county out. You understand?
Yes, I do. Can you call it to the yard, sir? I'm getting in, Mom. Yeah. Do what your mama says. You were under arrest. Okay. You were under. I'll get in there. Press charge from him for assault and travel down. Which is a state law. Hey, Mama. Hey, man. Let go. Are you going down? They're going to do it anyway, man. Are you going down? What? Come down. It ain't him. It's this right here. This one's trying to be all right. Now listen to me. I just told you you're under arrest. Get the patient to the hospital. My mom is in here. That's my wife, man. Come on. Talk to me. You're arresting me. Talk to me. That's handed at the hospital. That's the hospital, man. It's just crazy, man. I'm not breaking no law. I'm not breaking no law. I just want my wife to get help.
After another trooper arrived on the scene, Trooper Martin walked back to Mr. White, who was standing on the side of the ambulance, and told him that he was under arrest and going to jail. Mr. White responded by informing the second trooper that he wanted to press charges against Trooper Martin for assaulting a paramedic. Trooper Martin grabbed Mr. White's wrist and arm and unsuccessfully attempted to twist his arm behind his back. A struggle ensued, and Trooper Martin choked Mr. White, keeping his hand on Mr. White's throat for more than 10 seconds after Mr. White stopped struggling. following. As we have discussed before here on ATA, when determining whether an officer's use of force was constitutionally excessive, courts consider the three factors established by the Supreme Court in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor. Quote, the severity of the crime at issue, whether the suspect poses an immediate threat to the safety of the officers or others, and whether he is actively resisting arrest or attempting to evade arrest by flight. The 11th Circuit considered these factors in its decision regarding Mr. White's lawsuit against Trooper Martin and ultimately determined that, quote, based on the facts viewed most favorably to Mr. White, Trooper Martin's conduct was objectively unreasonable under Graham versus Connor. In reaching this conclusion, the court noted that, quote, the video recordings support the inference that Trooper Martin continued to choke Mr. White for 10 to 12 seconds after Mr. White had stopped resisting, that during this time, Trooper Martin was squeezing hard enough to make breathing difficult for Mr. White, that Mr. White was gasping for air, and that Mr. White was looking at the other trooper on scene and pointing at Trooper Martin's hands around his throat. Now, while the 11th Circuit did not conclusively decide that Trooper Martin used excessive force in this instance, it did hold that a reasonable jury could find that Trooper Martin violated Mr. White's Fourth Amendment right against the use of unreasonable excessive force based on the facts of this encounter. Let's return to the dashcam footage to watch the remainder of this encounter from that perspective.
AEMT from taking my mother to the hospital. Let's get this all on camera right now. Let me get the car number here. Tag number. That's all it is. That's all there. I'll tell you what you say. You said everybody can get it. Yeah. Don't y'all get involved. Okay. We're not. No, I just got you some evidence. That's all. I got you some evidence. That's all.
I've been going hot over here to help the county out. You understand?
Yes, I do. Can you call it to the yard, sir? I'm getting in, Mom. Yeah. Do what your mama says. You were under arrest. Okay. You were under. I'll get in there. Charge from him for assault and travel down. Which is a state law. Hey, Mama. Hey, man. Let go. Are you going down? They're going to do it anyway, man. Are you going down? What? Come down. It ain't him. It's this right here. This one's trying to be all right. Now listen to me. I can told you you're under arrest. Get the face. This highway patrolman pulled my mom's ambulance over because he's mad we didn't pull over, and he trying to arrest the police, the AEMT from taking my mother to the hospital. Let's get this all on camera right now. Let me get the car number here.
After Trooper Martin stopped choking Mr. White, the troopers and the EMTs parted ways without further incident. The ambulance drove to the hospital, and Mr. White was not arrested or charged with a crime. Following the encounter, an internal investigation into Trooper Martin's actions was conducted. In a news conference, Oklahoma Highway Patrol Captain Chris West stated that Trooper Martin, quote, failed to recognize that it would have been more reasonable and appropriate to immediately allow the ambulance to continue to the hospital once he understood there was a patient on board the ambulance. Oklahoma Public Safety Department Commissioner Kevin Ward also sent a disciplinary letter to Trooper Martin, stating that his disregard for the welfare of the patient justified, quote-unquote, severe discipline. As a result of the investigation, Trooper Martin was suspended for 5 days without pay and was required to take a so-called anger assessment. On July 21, 2009, Mr. White filed a civil rights lawsuit against Trooper Martin in federal court, and on December 11th, Trooper Martin filed counterclaims against Mr. White for slander and assault and battery. The district court denied Trooper Martin qualified immunity for Mr. White's excessive force claim, and Trooper Martin appealed this decision to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. The 11th Circuit affirmed the denial of qualified immunity in the 2011 opinion that we discussed earlier in this episode, and on January 25, 2012, the case was closed after the parties reached an undisclosed settlement agreement. Trooper Daniels passed away on April 23, 2018 after suffering a heart attack. He was still employed by the Oklahoma Highway Patrol at the time of his death. Overall, Trooper Daniels gets an F for maintaining a belligerent and furious demeanor throughout the encounter, using excessive force against Mr. White, repeatedly failing to practice basic common sense and human decency, and endangering the life of a citizen who was potentially suffering a heart attack for the sake of his own ego. Trooper Daniels was clearly enraged throughout this encounter, and was unable to control his emotions or his conduct in order to fulfill his duties in serving the public. Had he been thinking clearly at any point during this interaction, Trooper Daniels would have immediately realized the patient's life was far more important than the potential traffic violation he was attempting to pursue, and would have allowed the ambulance to continue to the hospital without trying to write Mr. Franks a ticket or arrest Mr. White. There is absolutely no excuse for Trooper Daniels' behavior, and it is clear that he was far from suitable to be a police officer. Mr. White gets an A, because although Trooper Daniels likely was within his authority to stop the ambulance, and Mr. White may have obstructed him and resisted arrest, Mr. White vigorously advocated for his patient above everything else, and was more than willing to submit to arrest once he was able to ensure the patient arrived safely at the hospital. This is one of the rare instances where I believe a citizen's resistance to an officer was warranted, as the delays caused by Trooper Daniels was putting the patient's life at risk. And it is clear that throughout this unfortunate and unnecessary encounter, Mr. White's only concern was the caring for his patient. I commend Mr. White for his fortitude and for speaking out about Trooper Daniels' reprehensible conduct and taking appropriate legal action after this encounter.